Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissy and in this video I'm going to be giving you a prediction reading for the 1st of March. Now, I thought it'd be good just to touch base and get, as we move into March, just to sort of see what energies are coming up, what's kind of currently going on around the globe and what we can sort of see coming in that near future. Because I think we can pretty much say that in February with the Canadian truckers, they woke up a lot of people and it was pretty much a shitstorm, as I predicted, that came from all that. But these things have that rippling effect. So I'm just going to close my eyes and we'll see what comes through for March. So I'm getting like a group of cowboys, cowgirls on horses, and they are flying. They are going so fast now. They are really racing, like it's that you can see them in this big group, just moving through the hills and racing forward. So I'm definitely getting there's a lot of this energy, this moving forward energy, and things are really sort of cutting through the air. So there's things that are cutting through, and I think I talked about it yesterday, the invisibility cloak. The invisibility cloak is again being removed. So people are pushing now, and that's why I'm getting that horses, because horses have that way of, and we saw that in Canada, of pushing through a crowd. So the horses and the cowboys and cowgirls are kind of rushing forward. They're pushing and pushing. It's almost showing me that they're pushing through the air. So they're like carving through the air, which to me would always indicate that clarity is coming. So I feel in March there's going to be a lot more clarity, and things that were once just some vision in the distance are going to actually become very clear and very concrete and very, it's saying what was surreal is now becoming real. So that's definitely something that I'm getting in March, is that things are going to become real. And this is where it comes back to that conspiracies, that people will look at things and go, well, that's a conspiracy. And then suddenly this is what wakes people up, because they have to look and go, that's actually become real. And this is why that united front, and again, if you think of the horses in a big group galloping and really charging forth, that's people uniting, that's people being strong, people sticking together, people not backing down and cowering away. It's people driving forward. And that's the energy I'm definitely getting in March. There's a lot of strength in numbers. And this is what it's kind of saying to me. This is the actual herd. None of this was ever about herd immunity. I think we pretty much know that by now. But this is about the herd is starting to become independent. So it's definitely a turning point. To me, March is going to be a very big pivotal turning point, that the herds and the people who have been controlled for so long have now are now breaking free of that, and they're charging forth on their own mission now. And that's something I'm definitely getting for March, is that people are on a mission. And in March, I really believe that people's true characters have really sort of unfolded during a lot of this. There's been a lot of duress. There's been a lot of awkward moments for people. There's been a lot of hatred, anger. These things are starting to subside. Now, in March, that's something that I really see. It's that turning of the tide. You know, whenever the tide comes in, we know that by nature, the tide goes back out. So this is what's happening. People are starting to soften. We were living a while ago in a very angry world, and people were infighting, they were arguing with family members, and I think we can all relate to that. Well, this is where the tide is turning, and those people are starting to soften now, because they're starting to see the truth, the reality, and that perhaps they have had the wool pulled over their eyes. And that's an energy I'm definitely getting for March, is that softening in people. And it's not a relief. It's not a relief because a lot of the mandates and things are being dropped. I think that's not what it's about. I mean, people are certainly happy about that. But this is like relief that even, it's okay, it's almost like They're finally listening to their gut feelings. Now, I was saying this the other day. They're finally listening to their more spiritual messages and what they're sensing and what they're kind of hearing, any messages in their gut. This is what's happening. People are opening up more to those higher senses and realms. And that's what's starting to soften them, because they sort of had, I think a lot of people along the way felt that gut feeling like something just didn't seem right, and they kept moving the goalposts, and why is this happening, and why is this country pushing so hard, and a lot of these things weren't adding up to a lot of people. So I really feel like in March, a lot of people are starting to do the maths, and it's not adding up. Like, it's like saying, 1 + 1 = 4, and it just doesn't add up, and that's the way people were seeing it before, but things are being perceived very differently now, and I think that's something you've got to trust in, is that definitely unfolding into March. A lot of truths are starting to, that were buried very deeply. It's almost showing me like the pyramids, how they bury the mummies and the, like, say, Tutankhamun, and they bury them very deeply, and they put traps around them as well. So robbers and things can't get to their tombs. Well, that's what's kind of happened with us. They covered everything in their tracks really well, but suddenly it's all coming out, and things are being exposed, and that's what they're kind of showing me for the energy of March, that, what was once hidden and very tightly and well protected is coming out. And this is why we're seeing globally that a lot of these prime ministers and things have gone into real panic mode, because people are starting to see the game. People are aware of what the Great Reset is, and people don't want it. It never came to the vote. No one put their hand up and said, oh, that's a great idea, we're really going to benefit from this. It's not what people want. So this is where you get these big pushbacks again. So we're going to see a lot more in March of the big pushbacks. And I'm kind of getting back to that clock again. It's kind of like, to me, it's like time is running out. So we really have to start to address these things now and stand and fight and make a difference. I know in Canada, I'm pretty sure recently that a lot of people pulled their money out of the banks because they went into panic mode as well, which can't blame them. That was pretty horrifying. So this is the kind of thing we've got to do. And I said it the other day, we've got to do our research now about financially moving forward. If these things did come to fruition, you've got to be prepared for how you're going to navigate that as well, because these people have a lot of strength and power. And it's quite frightening, actually. I find it quite frightening, the amount of power that sort of 10 people in the world can have over everybody. But when you create an illusion, it's very easy to do that. So it's not actually the truth. So that's where it's so important that anyone who's out there, freedom fighting, light workers, anyone who is aware of the truth, that you keep putting it out there. Like I said, plant those seeds, because these seeds are growing. And I'd say we've probably got about a mid-sized tree at the moment. If you think of an apple tree, for example, they're so pretty, and they're sort of about this level, but it's still not mature enough that it hasn't got the apples on it. So we're sort of wanting it to get to the point where it's starting to grow and bear fruit. Same with like an olive tree. It can take years until the olives actually come. So that's what I'm saying. Keep going, keep putting your messages out, and just know that this is growing and that the truth are coming out. What was very safely protected and very guarded is now completely being exposed. So take that as the message today, and take that with that strength and power, because you guys out there are the ones that are starting to create the shifts. And this is happening, and this is happening on a global level. People are being exposed, and the truths are evolving, and they're coming out, and they're rolling out really fast. And that's why that big herd of horses and things, are really pushing forward now with that energy. So look, I hope that helps you today. That's just a little bit of predictions going into March 2022. And I really feel like the tides are turning, and let's just hold that in our minds and focus on that, because that's how we get more of it. That's how we manifest. Hit those like buttons, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in that next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.